from another show, but it's still kind of fun. Ladies would treat me right. Wicked Housewives with your host, Kat Cannabis, Sheila Sistar. You guys are live. Go for it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, today is lacking seriousness of all levels.
And we need that sometimes. It's really good to just let go and let stuff just, fall where it's going to fall. Hang loose.
That's right. That's my motto.
Yeah. So today on Dreams Decoded in today's tarot, guess what celebrities have birthdays today?
Where are we? We're in April. Somebody who's ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
Yeah, they are. Well, we have Kate Hudson. She's very ambitious.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
And Muhammad Ali. I mean, can you get any more ambitious than that?
Right.
And remember Jane Mansfield? The one that had the car accident, and she got beheaded, and her dog got beheaded. And
yes, God.
This is her birthday.
Wrong.
Yeah, really. Happy birthday, Jane.
Yeah.
So, if you were born today, Tuesday, well, actually it's April 19th, no matter what day it falls on, you are the Two of Diamonds. Isn't it great, Sheila, not to have any swords?
The fresh new day. Yeah.
What happened? Yeah,
I know. It's like Groundhog's Day there for a little while.
I know it was, wasn't it? Two of Diamonds. And the Two of Diamonds is the Two of Pentacles. And what makes this card so interesting is it shows that if you're the Two of Pentacles, and remember, Pentacles deals with health, wealth, the physical, and money on the earth plane. So if you're a Two of Pentacles, you are always juggling money. And it seems like you never have enough. But if you look at this card, you have the pentacles within the infinity sign. You may never have as much as you think you'd like to have, but you will always, always have enough. And most people who are Two of Pentacles usually have 2 or 3 different jobs. They have multiple jobs, and they are very ambitious. And take, for instance, Kate Hudson. She not only is an actress, but she does a lot of commercials. You see her all the time on commercials. She has a lot of animal sanctuaries that she is a mentor for. She's a mentor for women. This is somebody who is always juggling. Yep.
Yes. And that juggling, I call it multitasking. And I used to multitask a lot, and I have gotten to where I'm breaking that down now to where I can be a little more focused on what I'm doing. I'm trying to get a little more zen, but that's for me. For someone like this, multitasking is probably just natural.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And sometimes when you're multitasking, at least this is what I'm finding now, Sheila, because I have so many other things I'm doing. I'm doing this show with you, and then I have my show on Monday nights, and we have this show Tuesday, and then I do a radio show on Blog Talk Wednesday. I have to actually be careful what I get myself into. In other words, I don't just say yes to everything anymore. I have to really be discriminating. And that's something that I'm the type of person it's always, yeah, you want to do this, Kat? Sure, I'll do it, whatever it is. But now I'm finding that I have to be a little more discriminating because, hey, Sheila, there's only 24 hours in a day.
That's right. If we're going to be in service, we have to put ourselves first. And for someone who is naturally a multitasker, I hope one of those tasks is taking care of yourself. That is got to be the number one. How can you help everybody else if you're not taking care of yourself?
Absolutely. And so you can't, obviously. So, one of the things a multitasker really needs to do is prioritize, and that's hard, but it's very doable. And that's what this card is saying. You're juggling many things. Prioritize. At least that way, when you're juggling, It's stuff that's worthy of you.
Mhm. Right. And we're not saying you can't do lots of things. We're just saying that whatever it is you're doing, it's best to let go of all the other things and just be more in the moment and focus exactly what you're doing. That's what's going to make you a skillful multitasker, is if you can stay in the moment and focused on what you're doing in the right now.
Right. And the Two of Pentacles is also the communication brings change card, which means when you're multitasking and you are juggling all this stuff, make sure you communicate. And I think that's important, Sheila, because at some point we need to say no to some of the things that we're doing so we can say yes to us. Otherwise, we're the ones who end up going, but I'm so burned out.
Right, right. And I have been a caregiver for years, and I have seen caregivers get burnout really easy because they get so involved in taking care of others, and unfortunately, I had to wait way too long to figure that out. But at least I have, and thank God. And so now I feel like I'm giving more of myself because I've taken more care and more, and I do say no a lot more now.
Yeah, and that's a skill you have to learn. Saying no with love is difficult,
right.
and explaining to the person that it's not that that you don't want to be with them or you don't want to do something with them. It's just that your priorities are such that you can't and do a good job. And so I tell people, I could do this, but I wouldn't be able to do a good job. And so I would not be giving you the respect that you deserve. So I'm just going to have to pass, but please ask me again later. And they always do.
See, that was very elegant and graceful to say it that way. And also, whenever you're being asked, you can feel, okay, if you get that wrenching feeling in your stomach, that's probably a good signal that it should be a no.
Mhm.
If you feel dreadful in any way at all, and you go ahead and say yes, well,
You're going to regret it. Yeah,
yeah.
you'll regret it. You'll probably do it if you're a person who's in an integrity. You'll find a way to do it, but you will regret it. And that's where that intuition, is so important. And we actually have a dream today about that was sent in to me, which is really interesting. So if you were born today, April 19th, you are the Two of Pentacles. And remember, Pentacles deal with money, but also the pentagram is very spiritual. So you have, although you're very grounded in the earth plane, you still have that spirituality in you, and you can tap into it, and you can use it to help you while you multitask and juggle multiple jobs, multiple, whatever it is you're doing. Tap into that intuition.
I just got finished doing my heart talks, and with Sheena, and every show she reminds us over and over and over again to invite your angels to come in any situation, in every situation, and ask, how can I best serve this moment or this person? And then the skill comes in listening or feeling the answer to that, and trusting. And that's your relationship with your guides. How does your guide communicate with you? Is it, through a voice? Is it through a feeling? Is it through, some kind of clue out here? That is a very personal relationship, and certainly one worth adding into your multitasking.
And when you do speak with your guides, and I speak with mine all the time. It's not just in my dreams. For instance, I went to a fundraiser for horses day before yesterday. And these are horses who are saved from slaughter. A lot of them are the wild Mustangs that people don't want on their land, so they round them up and they're sending them to slaughter. And this woman goes out and she gets them before they go to the slaughterhouses, and she brings them back to her ranch, and she works with them one-on-one until they are so sweet and gentle you can ride them. And she actually uses them to help children who have emotional and physical problems. So I was invited to the fundraiser, and I said, you know what? There are certain people at that fundraiser I really need to connect with, because I need to get these stories, because the horse stories are going to go into a book that I'm going to be writing. And I don't even know where to begin because I don't know any of these people. So please just lead me around. Wherever you lead me, I'll be, I'll be friendly and engaging to these people, but just bring me to the right ones. Do you know, Sheila, that by the time I was done, I had met everybody I needed to meet. I ended up sitting next to the guy whose house was giving this huge party, and I didn't even know him.
Oh my goodness.
So it just shows you, if you speak to your guides, they'll do it. You're their job, and they, you're their job, and they really take that job personally.
Absolutely. If you can stop and think of something that you enjoy doing more than anything, that is how much the angels enjoy our communication with them, our inviting them into our situations. I mean, there are great relationships to be had in a society where relationships can be very challenging. Go to your angels. That one's easy.
Yeah, exactly. And let them manifest for you, and they will. They'll make stuff happen. It's like, keep up. It'll happen so fast. It's like, keep up. And they're really amazing. They'll speak to you in your dreams, which is what happens in my dreams a lot. And, my spirit guides in my dreams are not angels. They're monks. I know. People go, monks? They're Franciscan monks. I mean, I would never have chosen that. I would love a beautiful angel with feathers. I have got a monk in a brown hooded robe, and they don't smile. But they are so accurate.
I told my guys, I'm like, you guys, you look like a bunch of ZZ Top. How is it that this is going on? You guys have got the beards. I mean, you guys look so cool.
Oh, that is funny.
I don't know who'd be more happier about that, ZZ Top or the angels. I'm just not sure, but
it just goes to show you, your spirit God, you never know what they're going to look like. So be nice to everybody when you meet them.
That's right. In fact, we just talked about that. We said, geez, if you have a hard time with people with tattoos and earrings and outfits, how are you ever going to make it out in the universe? Because it's all different out there.
It is. It's true. So sometimes we have to focus on the fact that here in the United States, everybody does pretty much look the same. They pretty much do. Now, because I was raised in Europe, no matter where I went, everybody looked different. If I went to Greece, they looked different. If I went to Italy, they looked different. If I went to Spain, if I went to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, everybody looked different. And they all had their own style, and they had their own customs. And so I was always open to different.
Yes.
Because that was normal to me.
Right. Well, in Southern California, we have everything. We had everything there. I mean, then I come up to the Northwest, and there's not and get into some smaller towns, there's not that adversity that I love living in a town where there's, I'm used to the universe. I like lots of different beings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you never know. And I remember it was really funny because you don't always know who your spirit guides and your guardian angels are. They will show up when you need them. When you least expect them. And I remember when I was going through my cancer treatment, and I was on a bus, and I felt like I had been run over by a truck. I felt so bad. And I was on the bus on my way back to my apartment that my husband had rented for me on Newbury Street in Boston, because I was going to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And this really, and I say this with love, grubby woman gets on the bus, and everybody kind of moves away from her, and I just looked at her. I didn't have the energy to move. I didn't have the energy. I couldn't move. I just sat there, and she sat down, and she looked at me, and she goes, "Do you believe in guardian angels?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And she goes, "Well, let me tell you this story. One time when I was at this restaurant over here, I thought that I put my wallet down, and I got up and I walked away." And she said, "And then I realized I left my wallet." She said, "And I went back to that restaurant, and there was a man standing there, and he was cleaning off the tables. And he said, 'Did you forget your wallet?' And I said, 'Yes, I did.' And he handed me my wallet. Well, I went back the next day to give him $20 because I only had like $10 in it, but I had all my credit cards and my driver's license and everything. And the place was shut down, and it said in the window, 'Closed.' And so I asked somebody, I said, 'Where's the waiter that works in here and cleans off the table?' And they said, 'Lady, this place has been closed down for 2 months. Nobody works here.'"
Oh, yeah,
And
just
then,
like that.
just like that. And then she looked at me and smiled. She had a plastic bag. She looked so grubby from head to toe. She smiled, and she got off the bus. And I realized at that point, I'd just been speaking to an earth angel.
Yes, absolutely.
She got on that bus because she knew. I felt like death warmed over because it just hadn't landed.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
still hovering.
Yes. I've had the same exact experiences. I had one on the train one time, and it was so obvious. And after it's done, after the person leaves, you know that you've just experienced something divine. And you kind of try to wrap your head about, and there's really nothing you can think about it. It's how it felt. It's
Yeah.
the synchronicity of it all.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
so amazing, and actually, for the most part, if you try to retell the story, it's never as you never can find the words to make it as amazing as it
Yeah.
really was.
It's true. It's like people look at you like, "What?"
Yeah.
This bag lady got on the bus and sat down next to you,
Yeah.
and you talked to her. I was like, "Yeah, but this wasn't a normal bag lady. She looked like one, but she just wasn't normal." But the thing
Right?
is, she got off the bus at the next stop. She was only on the bus one stop. When she got on the bus, everybody moved down to the back of the bus, and she sat down right next to the door. When
Oh.
she got off the bus, it was like it sucked all the energy out of the bus.
Oh.
It was just, she had so much energy, and I'm sitting there just looking at her, and she's just talking to me like she's known me all my life. Chances are she did. And then, as if that weren't enough, I was on this bus again because I was too tired to walk back to my condo that I was renting. I was having chemo and radiation. I was wiped. I was totally wiped. And I got on the bus again. I was sitting there as close to the door as possible because I wanted to take as few steps as possible. And this guy gets on the bus. He gets on the bus and he goes, he says, "Have you ever seen an angel?" I mean, people probably think I'm imagining this stuff. And I said, "Well, yeah, I have. I've kind of seen him in my dreams." And he goes, "Do you know that one day when I had just moved into my apartment," he said, "it was Thanksgiving Day, and I didn't have a turkey, and I didn't have anywhere to go to eat, and I didn't have any money." And he said, "This woman came up from downstairs, and at first," he says, "I thought she was hitting on me. She came upstairs with this beautiful turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and sat down with me, and I had the best Thanksgiving dinner, and she left it there, and she left, and she said, 'I'm down in A4 or whatever.'" He said, "So the next day I cleaned all the dishes up and I took it down to A4, and the manager of the building said A4 hadn't been rented out for over a month. There was no one in there." That's the stuff that freaks you out really bad.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I don't know if you know who Saint Germaine is, but he is one that I am very near and dear to. And 3 times he has shown up, has taken on the body of an older gentleman. And whoever I was with, all 3 times, he went up to the person that I was with and said to them all 3 times, take especially good care of this one. She's special. And then walked away and almost like disappeared. And whoever I was with at the time, you know, it's a moment that just like stops time for a minute. And they all of them got a weird look on their face. I knew immediately who it was. I could feel it. And I thought I feel extremely blessed that that I could have those moments and actually realize what was happening, and that the people that I was with were there to witness it and be shocked by it, of course.
Yeah. So if that guy had any randy ideas with you, Saint Germaine put him straight that night.
Oh well, yeah. Actually,
But
one was my husband and one was my son, and who were both, you know, protectors of me. And how it was just, you know, I try not to brag about these moments because they are so divine and so very close. But it is true. There is divine intervention. Your guardians will appear to you. There is opportunity to be given the answer or given the thing that you need or the message. And slowing down and becoming more aware of your surroundings and the people who come into your world. That's all so important and so much. I mean, that's the fun part of this journey is the opportunities for divine intervention, for actually for having having the connection like you and I have made. You know, we're doing service, we're doing divine things, and I know that we're just being watched and touched and loved by the universe with every show that we do, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I agree. And for those of you listening, I mean, it's not any different from you. You were born with guardian angels. You're their job. They take that job very seriously. And I once explained it to a woman who said to me, but how do I know if they're really talking to me? How do I know it's not just my imagination? And I said, dare to step out of yourself and do what you feel they're drawing you to do, provided it's not hurting anyone and it's not going to hurt you. Because it's almost like when our spirit guides or our guardian angels tell us something, like, they say, maybe go to that party because you're going to meet someone you really need to meet. And let's say you do go to that party and you do meet somebody you needed to meet. Now you have rewarded your spirit guides and your guardian angels. Now, because you've rewarded them, they're going to speak to you even more. It's sort of like with our parents, when our parents would say, you know, you need to go and wash behind your ears. Yeah. And we did. We go and we wash behind our ears. We reward our parents. Now they're going to tell us other things that are healthy and good for us versus ignoring them. Eventually, if we ignore our parents that much, they're going to stop speaking to us. And I really think that that's what happens a lot of times with the spirit guides. They're like, okay, they're just not really ready to hear us yet, but we're going to just wait around because we're never going to leave them. Right. So dare to step out of yourself, dare to step out of your comfort zone and listen and feel. You know, I get goosebumps when something is right. When I get that hit, I get those goosebumps and I know it's right. It's them kind of tickling me with their feather, as it were. Yes. And that's how I know.
Yes. A tap on the shoulder, a little scratch on the head. You know, I get, whenever I feel it, I'm like, okay, I feel you there. You know, I acknowledge, I acknowledge our relationship. I acknowledge that you're with me. And what a wonderful thing that is. What a wonderful, how that just expands the heart. Every time you have communication, some kind of connection in any kind of divine way or service, man, your heart just expands and it's beautiful.
It does. And you know what else, Sheila? You realize you're never alone. In your darkest hour, when you feel that things are just crumbling all around you, you're not alone. You know, you got your
Right.
spirit guides with you. And another thing to remember, I remember when I was going through all of the, you know, because I had breast cancer 3 times. And when I was going through all of that, I remember thinking, this is just chaos. But out of chaos comes new beginnings. And it was a completely new beginning. I started writing my book, and now I'm speaking around the country, and I've got the radio shows. So out of chaos comes order. And sometimes we just have to step back and let it all fall into place and just reach out and hold on to those guides and know you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Whatever you're going through, you need to go through it at this time, because I believe we decide before we're born exactly what it is we're going to go through on this earth plane.
Right. Now there's a foundation of acceptance that can really help you walk through the challenges that you've got. And, you know, we're not saying that you're going to, you know, when something happens and you're caught in the situation, it takes a moment to get your grip and remember that your angels are with you. Yes, there are times when you do feel alone. We know that we're not, but we can feel like maybe we're not being understood or not being heard. That's because you're wanting to be heard and understood by another human. And this is the perfect opportunity to reach toward your angels, to your guides. They understand. They know exactly. They know more than you do. And I think a lot of times we go through solo periods where we have no other choice than to speak to our guides, to speak within, to get to it. It sort of turns us into that inward direction. I had to be forced. I had a period where I felt like I was all alone. Nobody understood me. I was finding my abilities. Nobody seemed to have the same abilities that I did. It was a rough period, but I'll tell you what, I learned who to go to for answers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So speaking of the messages, do you want to hear what the dream was that somebody sent me?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the dream. It says, I always dream of riding horses. I mean, isn't it amazing? This just came in and I went to that horse fundraiser. I always dream of riding horses. Sometimes the horses are just walking and I'm enjoying myself, but other times they are galloping so fast that I have to hold on for dear life. What does this mean?
Wow. And time is moving so fast right now. I mean, it is almost impossible to keep up with ourselves. We are changing so quickly right now. And I myself, right now, whenever the energies are bringing things out, we're having downloads, new information is coming in. We used to have like a week or 2 or 3 to process a new idea. Not anymore, man. You take it, you run with it because the next one's coming. And I don't know. I think we're all kind of feeling the quickening of time and of change. Mm-hmm. And the earth is changing very quickly.
It is. And a horse has always been the messenger, even in the Bible. The horse is the messenger. And the color of the horse, you know, red horse was war, messages of war. And in the spiritual world, again, the horse is a messenger. And so the message, I think, to this person in their dream is sometimes the things that you hear and the messages that you get are great. You can keep up with them. But just like you said, Sheila, sometimes those messages are coming in one after another, so fast that you feel like you're holding on for dear life. And that's what this is. And if you always dream of horses, which what this person said, I'm always dreaming of horses, maybe your horse is your spirit guide. Oh. And that horse is telling you that no matter how fast you have to go, he'll make sure you don't fall off. Just hold on.
Right, exactly. And isn't that what we're doing anyways? And even in our cleansing, as these energies come in, it brings out the shadows of ourselves. And it used to be we had a week to sit and play with that shadow, give it a name, define it, relive it over and over again. No, not anymore. You let that energy pass through you and let it go. Time is quickening, and we need to get through this, and you don't have to name that thing. It's not a pet. Just let it run its course. Let it run through. It will run through you and leave, and you can be back. And a messenger, weren't we just talking about angels? Don't they come in messengers come in any way that they can get it. I pick up my phone. It's always 222, 333, 444. Again, yes. Angels are tapping me on the shoulder saying, we're hearing you. We heard what you just said. We're supporting you. I try to really pay attention to what I was thinking at the moment. Let that be, that's whenever they came in, whatever thoughts I was having at the time. So in your messages, my goodness, messages must be coming awfully quick for him.
Yeah, they are. I guess they are. And his horses are telling him that, it's okay. As fast as he's going, he can hold on and he can keep up, and they're not going to throw him.
Absolutely.
And so I hope that our listeners today will go to our Facebook pages. Mine is the Kat Cannabis Show. And Sheila, what's your Facebook page?
SheilaJeanBerger.org. And then we're also at newearth.online.
Okay, and leave us a message. What is your messenger, your spirit guide, or your synchronicity in life? I have one friend who it's butterflies. When her husband died, she asked me to do a reading for her, and I said, he's telling me to tell you that anytime you see butterflies, it's him. And sure enough, whenever she'd get really sad thinking about him, a butterfly would show up and land on her. So what is your butterfly? Those of you listening, go to our Facebook page, Kat Cannabis Show, and leave me a message there. Tell me what your little messenger is.
With that would be very cool. I know for my daughter, it's a little ladybug. Little ladybug.
Whoa. I think our producer Rachel's having fun with us. Good news is it's not disco.
It's Highway to Heaven.
Those messages. No, that wasn't God speaking. That was her guidance.
Yeah,
Rachel. Rachel loves Star Child speaking. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been fun again, as always.
And we'll see you next week, and we'll see what kind of dreams we can interpret and what kind of cards we can pick. Maybe we won't have to have a sword again next week.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? What I wanted to do was pull one of the higher arcana cards just to get an idea on everything that we just did today on this show. So pull, give me a number 1 through 21.
I'm going to say 17.
Good choice.
Okay. 17? Okay.
Is that, Rachel?
Yeah, I was going to say 17
You'll
too.
never believe what card you just chose. You'll never believe it. The star.
Hooray.
Oh, of course.
You just chose the star. Let me find it here, and I'll 10, 15, 16. Here it is, the star. The star is a woman who has her foot in spirituality and the other foot on the earth plane. She can walk between the realms, and she can take spirituality from the pool of life and pour it onto the ground to bring forth life. And she can also exist under all the stars, either during the daytime or at night. So this is the star.
Well, there we are.
I like it.
It's the inspiration card.
Same body type I have.
Isn't that something? Well,
Yeah,
that's what all three of us are doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what all three of us are doing.
I love it.
Wow. Well, all right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we do.
Yeah, we always have fun.
It was
So
fun.
we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Until next week, namaste.
Bye, everyone.
Who you gonna call? Wicked,
Ghostbusters.
Wicked Housewives. Wicked Housewives. WickedHousewives.club. For more fun, more tarot, more dreams. The Wicked Housewives Club.